Hey, F5 community, Aubrey here with DevCentral, and I'm here to walk you through another N8n lab. That's right, we're going to take a YouTube channel and we're going to make a real quick mailing list about that. The purpose for that would be like, let's say you want to keep an eye on your competition on YouTube, right? And make sure that you know whenever they've released any sort of new technologies or things like that, keep an eye on their corporate YouTube channel and be notified whenever they release something. That's something that this could be very, very useful for. What are you going to need to make this happen? You're going to need to have n8n installed for sure. You're also going to need to have a Gmail account. I think most people that I know have a Gmail account. If you don't, it's easy to sign up and get one for yourself. And you're going to have to set up OAuth, which there are documents and YouTube videos on how to get that done. The other thing that we're going to need is access to OpenAI. I did this with OpenAI. It was the easiest way to get it done for me. I banged my head against a wall with a bunch of Olama models, and I was unable to find any sort of joy with this one. So without further ado, let's not get too far off the rails here, and let's get into our lab. I'm going to share my desktop now. So here we go. This should look familiar if you've used N8n. This is the interface. So I'm going to click on over in here. And first thing, I'm going to create a brand new workflow. So I have a new workflow here. Now, we could very easily do this in a timed fashion, right? So if we want to have a trigger, we could do a schedule is probably the best way to do this. You know, schedule for every week. You're going to just download the 10 latest videos on this website or something like that. But you could also do something like on a webhook call, form submission, whatnot. You could have all kinds of different ways to trigger this, or even a chat message. Hey, do my summary of whoever's YouTube channel, and voila, your Slack bot returns this YouTube information for you in Slack. That kind of thing could be done as well. But for now, I'm going to just do it manually because that's the easiest way to get it done. And then you can select how you want to execute this workflow when you go ahead and build it, because I know you're going to build it. It's really a pretty useful implementation here. So, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do once I execute this thing is I'm going to go ahead and make an HTTP request. So if I go ahead and search my nodes for HTTP, there's my HTTP request. So I'm going to need to get my YouTube channel's ID and put it in the URL, because what we're going to do is we're going to look at this thing as an RSS feed and grab the XML out of it, convert it to JSON, and then use the JSON to formulate everything else. And you'll see how that goes. The easiest way to get it done, though, first is to find your ID. And I'll show that to you on our DevCentral YouTube. Okay, so here's the DevCentral YouTube channel. And if I take a look at this, it's just our channel as is. As you can see, I'm here on the videos section of the site. Here in videos, we're going to have to take a look and go ahead and view source. This should open another window. And here, what I'm going to need to do is I'm just going to need to search for RSS. Okay, so once I've searched for RSS, I find this little bit in my code, which has got a reference that has channel ID equals, and then all this stuff at the end of it. So if I go ahead and take that, okay, I'm going to copy this exactly as it is, and I'm going to paste this into the URL of my HTTP request. I go ahead and paste it. I'm going to execute this step right now, just so we can see what happens if I do a get. And we have some stuff, okay? We have XML clearly right here. So this is exactly what we want to see. It is an RSS feed. We can see that. So we can go ahead and work with this. Now, if we go back here and we click on our canvas, we want to go ahead and get our next node in the chain. what are we doing here? We're going to do some XML work. And you see we've got the ability to convert data from and to XML. So here we go. We're going to put the XML node in there. And you see already it defaults XML to JSON. There is nothing special for this node at all. Execute the step and ta-da, we have a whole bunch of, let's look at this in JSON format, right? So this should be very familiar as JSON format. We can see here that there's a main array called entry that has various entries in it, right? We've got entry 0 and entry 1. And in here we have things like media description, the thumbnail locations, the actual content location for the video itself, titles. All these things are things that we want to extract from this feed and use to build our mailing letter. So now that we've got this executed, the next piece is we're gonna want to go ahead and add our agent. It's time. So under AI, we've got an AI agent here, and this AI agent is going to be used really just to do a very custom conversion here, which we are going to define below. I'm going to define below here a prompt that I want to send to a large language model. So it says your job is to take this data, and it's the entry, okay, like that we talked about, the entry array, and in a JSON string. So you've got 2 JSON string already added there, and format it in the required output format. Also summarize the video description at the same time as it'll be used in a newsletter. So we want to have that taken care of. And you can see here that with this, this element highlighted, we do have usable results. This looks exactly like the kind of stuff that we want to be seeing and reading into our large language model. Now, another thing we're going to need to do is require specific output format. So we want to make sure that we do that, which requires an output parser. So that's going to be a structured output parser at this point. And we do have a JSON example to share that'll make this easier. So if I'm going to Control A and Control V, here it is. I'm looking to get a title, description, link, and thumbnail URL. That's what we're going to pass back, these elements. And that's it. You'll notice that everything else, the feed data and a lot of the other JSON elements that we don't really need, we're just going to drop them. No need to have them. Up here, we click back to get to our AI agent again. And one thing that's missing now, we need a chat model. So we're going to add a chat model to this. Now, I said I was going to go with OpenAI. So here I am, OpenAI. Now, I'm going to use the credentials, my OpenAI account that I created credentials with. If you don't know how to create the credentials, it's easy. Click on Create New Credentials and then open the docs. Okay? These docs right here will show you exactly where to take your browser, and it will tell you exactly how to build an OpenAI account connection in OpenAI's web portal. It'll walk you through getting an API key and inserting it and all that good stuff. I did that, and honestly, it takes about 2 minutes when you've got an OpenAI account. Not a problem. Super easy. Now, I'm going to do this with a very lightweight model, GPT-4.1 Mini, right? That's just fine. It's going to get the job done for sure. And we don't need this responses API. That's not needed in the slightest. So if we go back and you can see the mapping here on the left side, the JSON that this is going to take in right now, it's coming from the XML node, so it still has the feed data attached to it. Let's go ahead and strip that out. We're going to go back to our AI agent and we're going to execute this step. Okay, that was super fast, actually. This brought me back an output structure, right? This is what we want. We want to have just a plain old JSON output. And then the new array that's been built in there just includes title, description, link, thumbnail URL, and does it match up? Is this exactly what we were looking at in order? Yes, it is, right? Media title, managing WAF policy in F5 Nginx 1 console. And it's lining up right here. Okay, so now that we've done the real hard part, we've got to generate our HTML newsletter. And what are we going to do to get that done? We are going to add a new node, and we're going to add the code node. Okay, code is fantastic. You can run custom code in here, JavaScript and Python, which doesn't seem like what we'd want here, but interesting that you can use Python. Since we're getting native JSON input, we're going to go ahead and generate this newsletter. Now, again, I have some pre-existing code that came from Saad Naveen. I'm not going to try to recreate the wheel. That just doesn't seem like a good idea. But instead, I will pass on that code to you. So we're going to create a JavaScript node, and the JavaScript that we actually want here, we're going to paste in all this newsletter stuff. So here, a couple things that you are going to want to change on yours, right, is if you look for the title, I've got DevCentral YouTube channel newsletter. Okay, that's in there. And then we've also got another couple DevCentral references. If you want to take a look, just search for DevCentral and you'll find what you need to find. Now, we already have some data here that came from our AI agent, right? And that's one of the beautiful things about building with n8n is you can just execute these steps sequentially with the data you've already got. You don't have to go pull new data. So I'm going to execute that, and voila, my newsletter is created. Everything looks good. We've got a nice, good source here, and everything is exactly as we expect it to look. Now, what we want to do is preview that HTML newsletter. We want to make sure that it's exactly as we expect that it will be. So we're going to HTML, and that will let you work with HTML. So we are going to generate an HTML template, and all this stuff we don't need. We don't need any of this. So we're going to delete every bit of that, and we are going to paste in that. So literally this. Another way that I could do that, by the way, if I want to delete this, like let's say we want to, instead of pasting that in there, you can also drag that into here. Okay, and now when I execute it, hey, there we have it. Latest videos from DevCentral. It doesn't look pretty because it's a small window, but this is accurate. This is some good stuff here. We've got my last n8n video there is coming up, and a whole bunch of other stuff here, right? Quantum stuff from Chase, and frankly, everything that's new. So all that's left to do now is to make sure that we get this emailed out to the people that need to get that newsletter. So I am going to fire up the Gmail node here. Let's back out a little bit there, and then I'm going to Gmail it. And what do we want to do? We want to send a message. Okay, that's basically what we want to do. Now, credential to connect with up top here, Gmail account. Okay, you see that this is the OAuth 2 API. Same kind of thing. If you don't have that created, you can hit create new credential, and it'll take you right to the docs. It'll show you exactly where in the Google console you need to create your new OAuth API token and put that to use. It's real simple. Took me, again, like 2 minutes to get that done when I wanted to go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to just put some stuff in to try it. Okay, I'm going to the resource is going to be a message. We want to send it, and we want to send it to somebody who wants to receive it. So we're going to send this to your mailing DL at yourdomain.com. The subject is my DevCentral mailer. And the email type is going to be HTML because, of course, we're passing it HTML. And then the message, again, is going to be up here. So let's drag and drop that. Think, there it is. And you can see there's the result. So now I'm going to go ahead and execute this by sending it to me. So I'm going to go ahead and execute the step with my email address right now. And voila, status. Look at it in JSON. Label IDs, sent. It did. It actually sent my email. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take this down, and I'm going to need to actually share a different window with the email because that should be here any second after our spam filters get done taking care of it. Okay, let's take a quick look here. My email came in already, and this is it. Latest videos from DevCentral in my Outlook, right? If I take a look, I've got all that stuff, managing WAF policy, Nginx One console. Remember I said that way back at our first step. I have my last n8n video with DeepSeek R1 code llama, etc., to route prompts between AI agents, and a whole bunch of stuff that is post-quantum crypto from Chase. All the things that I said would be there are actually there. So I think that's going to wrap it up, community. What did we get accomplished here? We gave you a very usable piece of information. All you need is to have OpenAI API access, which is cheap. I spent 1 penny, literally 1 penny, designing that lab that I just showed you. So API access from OpenAI and a Gmail account, which is free. So go ahead and get this thing done and make sure that you can send yourself periodic mails using n8n. Keep track of all your competition. Once again, I'm Aubrey King with DevCentral. I hope you're having a great day, and I am, because yeah, I love sharing knowledge. See ya.